everyone. I wanted to cover um, a really important topic for veterans and for veterans who had challenges during service where they either got hurt or injured or suffered from military sexual trauma, etc. And now, they have been out for a while and have to file a claim to finally get their disability, whether they have medical records or not, to show that they have been harmed or hurt in some sort of way. So, when I served in the military, it was, from 1989 on up, I did a couple of years of active and then number of years of inactive ready reserve. I um, was raped when I served in the military, and back then we didn't really have support groups. There was no such thing as MST. We didn't talk about it. It was There was nowhere to turn, absolutely nowhere to turn. In fact, when I was in and I did report a situation where I was harassed, I was basically laughed at. They talked to the guy, and not soon after, he was out with an honorable discharge. So, anyways, I was sexually assaulted by another soldier while serving in the U.S. Army. We were in the same unit together. He didn't live in the barracks because he was in a relationship, and the person he was with, they had a little boy together, so they lived off base, which is the norm for anyone who's married or in a relationship or has a child. And so that was kind of the situation. So when my assault took place, I didn't talk about it, and I filed it away. And just like everything else in my life, I said I'll deal with it later. Well, later never came. I had never gone to get an exam. I never talked to the police. I never talked to a chaplain. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell my friends in the military. I didn't tell my family. I didn't tell the guy that I was with because I knew I wouldn't be believed. So, went on for many years. After 10 years, I did tell someone who knew, who had also known the man that had raped me, and I was informed at that time he had gone on to commit another rape a year after mine and had served time in prison for it. And then when I said, well, he raped me too, she kind of said, well, whatever. She claimed that she had been involved with him and kind of brushed me to the side. And then I lived with the guilt and the shame of not reporting for many years after. So I started to go to the VA and talk about my rape around the year 2012-ish, about 7 years ago, 2010, 2012, and started to get documentation. And then I was impatient because there was a point in time when I simply didn't want to live anymore, but I didn't want to live, but I didn't want to take my life. So I was at an impasse. And so I went into the VA, and I was able to talk to therapists and go through cognitive processing therapy and dialectical behavior therapy, and talk to a psychotherapist and a psychiatrist, and all of that incongruent with my treatment, and finally got to talk to other women who had the same experience, and they said you have to file. So I went to the DAV office and I found a rep, and I said I would like to file and get approved for my claim, which was a PTSD claim as a result of military sexual trauma. So, based on my memory and the fact that I knew my assailant's name, and I told him it was off base in an apartment where he had lived in certain area in that state, and I knew his first and last name. I gave him exact details, and I named his family members and such and such. And so then I filed, and it took about 2 years, and I got 30%. And I appealed, and I had to go talk to more doctors and go through more exams and write more statements and this and that. And after it took like 2 more years or so to get 70%. And I finally appealed that and was finally sat before a doctor through a teleconference through, I don't remember what state this doctor was in, but I sat before a doctor with my VA rep in a room, just her and I. Um, Doctor was, obviously on the television, and she could see me as well, and asked a series of questions, answered them honestly, got into fine details, talked about how my life had been affected as a result of the sexual assault, and I got into it, and it was a very emotional and difficult, just, it was painstaking because you're reliving it every single time. So, anyways, I got through it, and then it took like another 2 years to finally get approved at 100%. I'm telling you, I don't know what the deal is with the military. I don't know if they start everyone at a lower percentage and then raise your percentage if you appeal. I don't know. I can't speak for everyone else, but I think um, that it's really important to talk to someone and to go through it. You have to go through the fire, and you have to really fight for your rights, or you have to find someone that will help you fight. You just can't simply give up. You I used to say the military won't do anything. They won't believe me. I don't have any records. This and this and that. And when you're finally told they believe you and they grant you even a small percentage, you know that you have a right to fight for more. It's just, the military allowed us to be perpetrated against. Men and women were perpetrated against, and 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 violated by fellow soldiers. And I'm not saying that all soldiers in the military harm one another. I'm not saying that at all. But I think that since it's been a cover up since whenever women were allowed to join the military, and men, attacked other men as well, but it's been a cover up. It's not something they want out there. They don't want us to talk about it. They don't want it to be made public. They don't want anyone to say that they've failed to protect their own. That's just the way it is. So I'm hoping this can help someone else keep on keeping on. You have to get a good rep. Some people get lawyers. But I did all of my filing was free. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot of writing down your memories and things like that, but you just gotta go for it. You have to find the strength to keep going. I don't know where I found the strength. I don't know if it was a combination of anger, guilt, shame. I don't know what drove me, but I know even when I got 30, I had a friend and I said, I need to appeal. And she said, well, you probably won't win. And I appealed, 30, got 70. And I said to her, I need to appeal. She says, well, you probably won't win. And I appealed and I got 100. So best thing to do is to talk to people who have been successful in their filings compared to people that just gave up, or people that would say, you're never going to win this. It's not going to work. It's a long, hard road. Not only did you suffer while you were in the military, but not going to be as rough as when you were assaulted, but you're going to be dragged through the mud, and you're going to have to talk about this. And some people would just rather forget about it than talk about it again. So that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope this helps someone to find peace throughout their situation and to know that it's worth it to keep going. And if anyone has any questions, I'd be more than willing to answer them. So I hope all have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.